Hey guys, it's Spacer Sims, and we are back with more Paradigm Paradox, going to wrap up Mocha slash Mihaya's route. Today, we got the happy ending in the last part, so I went back and looked, and we did do all of Kamui's endings, and then read all of the new, all of the report thingamajigs in the same part. So we'll do that in this one. So we are starting with Mihaya's normal end. So I've loaded up our save file 3, and we are going to support Mocha with Augment. Hearing my voice, Mocha readied herself after a moment's delay. I'll cast Augment. We're gonna have to go all out. Got it. Mocha agreed to my plan immediately. She knew Yukonami wouldn't be an easy opponent. I made sure Yukonami didn't get too close as I cast Augment on Mocha. It's done! Our fight with Yukonami continued for a while. The young man who called himself Ibuki simply stood idly by, observing us. We're still at a disadvantage. We're not used to fighting outside the colony, but Yukonami's completely fine. I think, okay, yeah. And I think we can, was this the game that we had, No, I don't seem to, wait, is there? No. No. I just didn't know if this one had a, Oh. Oh, well, this was just apparently what was going to happen. Anyway, jump in front of Mocha, so okay. Apparently they don't seem to have a next choice thing. Okay. Oh, my head ached with a dull pain as I opened my eyes and saw an unfamiliar ceiling. I was lying down, so I sat up. I heard Mihaya's voice right when I did. You're awake. And don't push yourself too hard. You took a nasty blow to the head. As Mihaya helped me up, I noticed that he seemed to be in pretty bad shape, too. Mihaya, are you all right? I'm sorry. They knocked me out, too. When I regained consciousness, we were in this room. Oh, I see. Then is this the place? Yeah, I assume it's their colony. I don't know why they brought us here alive, though. Right as he said that, the door opened and Ibuki entered. Oh, you two are awake. I don't know why I was about to give him, other voice. Well, welcome to our colony, Tau. He smiled as he spoke, but we were in no condition to smile back. You're welcoming us? Why didn't you just kill us? Would you prefer that we did? He asked the question so seriously, I didn't quite know how to respond for a moment. That's not what I meant. It's just strange that you would spare us. I thought we were enemies. I assumed Ibuki was on the Vector's side, and he mostly agreed with what I said. It's true we've been fighting until now, but I don't believe you've come here to fight. Isn't that right? It certainly wasn't our intention. We didn't even know this was your colony in the first place. What is this place anyway? Looks like a colony for Vectors, but I can't believe they'd stay here willingly. Of course it's not their choice. Your leaders in Theta have been sending them here. Ibuki's answer was so blunt that it took us a minute to fully absorb the meaning of his words. In Theta? You mean the higher-ups? What are you saying? I could ask you the same. Did you really think they wouldn't do anything about the humans who turned into Vectors? They're the ones who sent all these people here. We couldn't just abandon the Vectors, so that's why we're here. Couldn't abandon them? So that's your reason for attacking everyone else? My voice shook as I remembered what happened to Lizzie. Ibuki looked troubled. It's their instincts to go where the humans are. Them hurting people is just incidental. If you want someone to blame, blame the humans who forced us to live here and pretended we didn't exist. They did all of this knowingly and pitted you against us. They created the Vectors but couldn't handle them, so now they're making you defeat them as the enemy. All seems so easy, doesn't it? Supposing that was all true, then what Ibuki said did make sense. So, and then he just revealed too, the researchers made the Vectors, so they were doing something, experiments, turn people into Vectors. Probably accidentally. I don't know if they were purposely trying to make monsters, but if I think about who's most at fault, then I'd say the higher-ups have been completely unreasonable. But I understand what this place is, but I still don't get why you spared us. Ibuki turned toward Mihaya to answer. Your reactions before intrigued me. What I said seemed to agitate you. Okay, I was going to say some of this is similar, but you mean how you knew about some humans who tried to visit this colony a few years ago? Yep, that bit. Ibuki nodded carefully while Mihaya looked distressed. Distressed, wow. I think you're talking about my parents. They were trying to come here but died in an accident. I see. So that's how it was. But an accident, huh? How terrible. Though I'd hazard a guess that it wasn't some misadventure and your leaders wanted them gone. What do you mean? Mihaya's voice had gone hoarse, but Ibuki responded matter-of-factly. You didn't know the purpose of this colony, did you? It's meant to be a secret. I imagine the top brass considered your parents to be a nuisance, given that they were trying to visit here. So you're saying that the higher-ups killed them? Mihaya went silent after that. All these new revelations felt so overwhelming, I couldn't think of anything to say. And about why we saved you, I wanted to ask if you might work with us. You probably feel conflicted after what I told you, but you have plenty of time, so just think about it. I'd be glad if you could give me an answer at some point. We remained completely silent as Ibuki casually tossed out that suggestion. Then he exited the room. What answer could we possibly give him? What are we supposed to do? All I knew was, even if we returned to Theta right now, it wouldn't be possible to simply go on with our lives as we previously had. I followed Ibuki's suggestion and stayed in Tao. Before we knew it, a few weeks had passed. The Vector seemed so calm again today. Yeah, I can't believe we've been fighting them all this time. We learned a lot of things in Tao that we didn't know about before. This was one of them. The Vectors often slept during the day and didn't move around much. Some of them tried to attack when they first saw us, but Ibuki stopped them and they hadn't tried again since. That Vector staring at us. A Vector stood across the street a slight distance away, openly looking at us. We met its gaze, but it didn't show any signs of wanting to attack. After a while, it just let out a short cry and then walked away. It was just looking at us. Yeah, when I see them like this, it makes me realize they were humans once. Oh, they really were humans once, sorry. Yeah. The longer we stayed in Tao, the more sympathetic I felt toward the Vectors. Mihaya must have felt the same way, too. I'm considering going back to Theta soon. I've been thinking of a plan, and if I want to put it in motion, I can't do it here. I wonder if Ibuki would just let us leave. I was curious to know what Mihaya was thinking, but when I expressed my worries, he spoke with slight hesitation. We won't know until we ask, but I think it'll be all right. What I'm trying to do will benefit the Vectors. I'm thinking of exposing what the higher-ups are doing. You mean telling everyone that they've been sending Vectors out here and pretending not to know about any of it? I had to double-check what Mihaya meant, because I hadn't expected him to say that at all. That's right. I think that if my mother and father had managed to make it here, they would have done the same thing. I want to carry out their wishes. But that's not all. I think both of them wanted to do something about the Vectors, too. They wouldn't have left things this way if they found out the Vectors used to be human. I feel the same way. When I look at the Vectors here, I just think that something has to be done. I know what you mean. So Mihaya also feels sympathetic towards them. I nodded at him in full agreement. I don't know if it could be done, but what if we tried to find a way to turn the Vectors back into humans? Yeah, I don't know if it's possible either, but I'd like to try. I knew that even if we found a way, it wouldn't bring Lizzie back. But I decided to help Mihaya so that we could prevent further tragedies from happening. Making the Vectors human again. That's just a pipe dream, you know. Ibuki listened to Mihaya's plan and immediately shot it down, but he didn't try to stop us. I don't know if it'll go well, but I'll be keeping an eye on you two. Does that mean you'll hold off on attacking Theta for the time being? I felt hopeful as I asked that, and Ibuki nodded. Well, I'm sure Yukonami and Hyuga will complain, but things can't stay as they are. If you ever feel like throwing in the towel, you're welcome here any time. I'm not going to give up. This is for my parents and everything else. and everyone else who's been sacrificed. Lizzie was one of those people for me. I looked Mihaya directly in the eye. That's right. I won't give up either. And then let's go, Spacey. I waited for dawn to arrive before departing from Tau. We were heading back to the place where we'd been born and raised, but this was no mere homecoming. The road before us was paved with many hardships. Of that I was certain. I can't just say I didn't know anymore. I have to take action. Doing nothing is not an option. And so we stepped out into the world, full in the knowledge that our journey was still unfolding. Is that it? Oh, it is. Okay. And interesting because he still obviously was able to breathe outside, so he, like, the love is not there. Even if he had feelings for us, it's not. You know what I mean? Okay, so save file 1. This is going to get us our bad end 3. Okay, you have other options. I think you have other options. If you hate the researchers and don't trust them, how about showing them up with your powers? I'd hoped to say something that would change Mihaya's mind, but couldn't think of anything specific in the end. As expected, Mihaya looked at me dubiously. And how would I do that? I didn't really think that far ahead. Look, I don't like the researchers either, no doubt about it. That's why I'm not going to let you do anything by yourself. Please let me help you with your research. We can do it together. We can figure out the researchers later. Oh, okay. But first, I'll help you get to the bottom of what your parents were looking into. Mihaya just sighed as I desperately tried to find the right words. You're a good person, aren't you, Spacey? Okay. I swear there was a way to, like, skip, but it doesn't. I swear this one had a skip. Wait. There we go. I was like, I can't remember which button it was. No need to sulk. There's no need to sulk. I'm still gonna help you out. I blurted out exactly what I was thinking, and Mihaya glared at me with dissatisfaction. I'm not sulking. Well, I guess it sounds that way. Ugh, I'm being so immature. Yep. Cast Augment. And then we go, because we've already done that one. What an amazing discovery. What an amazing discovery. But make sure you don't rush things. You're not actually trying to leave Theta right now, are you? I cautiously asked Mocha that question, and she gasped before turning to look at me. Oh, this is when she realized that Sap could get her outside. Okay. No, of course not. It'd be reckless to leave right now. I didn't get permission either. But you're right. I think I was rushing things a bit. Mocha let out a quiet sigh. Okay. Aww. And this is because I'm sad. I just felt really sad. You've never stopped being your parents' child. I just couldn't hold back my tears when I thought of that. What are you talking about? Of course I'm their child. Or are you saying I'm childish? He started to sulk when I said that, so I quickly clarified. Ooh, okay, hold on. And then we cast Augment here. Okay. I decided to use Augment on Mocha so that her sap ability would be more effective sooner. This is when we first went outside. Okay. Mocha, I'm gonna use Augment! I took her hand and charged my energy, unleashing Augment. The effects appeared right away. Thank you. I can do this now. Mocha let go of my hand and headed toward the vector. Take that! She dodged a swing from the vector and then circled around it, reaching out her hand to touch its back. I couldn't see her from where I was standing, but I assumed she cast sap just then. It worked. Alright, let's do this. Yeah! I felt a little sorry for the vector because we were using it for our own goals, but we also couldn't let it wander around near Theta. That's basically the same as... Okay. We worked together and took down the vector. Okay. And then this is where we're going to meet Ibuki and Yukinami. I'm not going to bother skipping here because there's really no point. Or like going to next choice because it's very short. And then we shout at Yukinami. And then this is where we all die because this is the last choice. This gets a CG though. Stop! Yukinami glanced at me when I shouted and it looked like he might stop. but after a brief moment he continued toward her. Mocha! I knew in that moment I couldn't stop him, so I jumped in front of Mocha and embraced her. What? Mocha let out a surprised shriek as I felt a powerful shock to my head. Why did you... Spacey! I heard Mocha's voice as my consciousness faded. We're supposed to get a CG. But I found I couldn't respond, and soon I was plunged into darkness. Okay, I thought that was just the end, because the other ones, when you get a bad end, kind of do that fade away, but... Well, okay, but now it's going all black, but like... Okay, here we go. Okay. My head ached with a dull pain as I opened my eyes and saw an unfamiliar ceiling. I'm so glad you're all right. I looked over and met Mihaya's worried gaze. Where am I? What happened? I vaguely remember getting attacked by Yukonami, so it was strange that we were all right. Did we lose? Then where are we? Figured we were going to die. We're in the place we were looking for. It's a colony called Tau, and Ibuki, Yukonami, and the other vectors live here. Ibuki told me exactly what this place is. Mihaya then proceeded to fill me in on everything. My stomach turned, hearing all the details. Are we, like, trapped here? So the higher-ups knew about everything and purposely hushed things up? In addition to that, it's likely my parents were murdered by the higher-ups. That's what Ibuki said. What? But didn't you say their protective suits were damaged? What he said was so disturbing, I couldn't help but shout in surprise. The higher-ups tampered with them. They must have thought my parents would publicize their findings. They killed them by making it look like an accident. That's terrible. What else could I say? As I waffled over my response, the door quietly opened and we saw Ibuki standing there. Oh, you're awake. And then let's pick up from where he left off. What do you mean? Would you be willing to help us? You've already come this far, so I had the feeling you might agree to it. Ibuki's sudden suggestion surprised me, and Mihaya cautiously asked for clarification. Helping you means fighting the Vector on the Vector's side, right? Perhaps, if that's how you see it. His ambiguous answer did nothing to elucidate Mihaya's question. All right, then. Okay, we'll join you. Mihaya, what are you saying? It'd been too easy for him to make that decision. I couldn't help but feel uneasy about it. This is where he goes down the path of murder. Look, if what they say is true, then the higher-ups are everyone's enemy. I'll never forgive the people that murdered my parents. But are you going to hurt innocent people? That's wrong, too. The higher-ups are the ones who are wrong. They're the reason vectors attack humans. I could sense Mihaya's thinking was becoming too extreme, but there was nothing I could do to stop him. My pleas fell on deaf ears, and Mihaya ended up leaving the room with Ibuki. I'm gonna go with Ibuki and the rest of them. And please, just wait here, Spacey. Let's get this done! Yeah. I'm gonna use sap now, okay? Perfect. Now all that's left is to get on over to the research district. What do you call them again? The higher-ups? We're going after them, right? Oh, we're gonna have to... Oh, is he gonna have to fight our friends? Yep. We'll start with the researchers, though. They're the ones who turned us into what we are, so they'll be the first to taste our revenge. That's why it's a bad end. I'm gonna annihilate them. Look at the glee on her face! I love it. Good luck. Same to you. Who's there? What? Why are you here? That was me. Why? I told you to wait. I look like I had cat ears, but it was a giant but oh my god! Did he just kill me? I look dead. I look so dead and he looks so anguished. Oh dear god, this is a terrible CG game. Why? Why did I attack? I looked up and saw tears streaming down Mihaya's face as the world around me started to blur. I wanted to stop you, Mihaya. This can't be how your parents wanted you to live. I was unable to speak clearly after that. It looks like I'll be leaving Mihaya's side. I wish I didn't have to do that to him right now. Mihaya, I wanted to touch him one last time. I reached out with my hand, but I don't know if I managed to touch his tear-stained face. That's so traumatic! And I would never be able to find out. Oh my god, he totally killed us! Fuck, that sucks! Shit! That's definitely a bad end! I'm glad I came back to you, Ibuki. You're beautiful. I love you. Okay, so short bad end is save file 2, which is this one. Okay. Bird, simmer down. And this is let's try going outside. Oh, okay, and she's gonna die. I figured, right? Say, you want to try going outside? Mocha nodded at my suggestion. We might not get the chance again. We should test whether I can leave Theta right now. But we need permission to go through the gate. If that's the case, maybe it's not a coincidence we found vectors around here. There could be a way inside Theta next to the gate. Let's look around. Got it! Simmer down, bird. Luckily, we found their entry point pretty quickly. We didn't see this during the patrol the other day. And the opening could have been made after that. Anyway, let's get a move on. Right! The effects of sap could run out if we dawdled too long, so we hurried outside. The music, hold on. The music is so peppy, guys. It's like, happy music, you're all about to die. It's like seriously the happiest fucking music for the fact that we're about to die. So, do you see anything familiar? When we exited Theta, we came upon what appeared to be a path outside the gate. Stop, chew on my headset. Yes, I get the feeling that I may have passed through here before. I noticed Mocha was growing paler by the second, so I called out to her. Maybe we should head back now. We've already established that you can use sap to go through this area. Yeah, let's head back. Right when we were about to turn around... Spacey! Mocha shouted at me sharply. A burning pain pierced through my back. I fell to the ground and looked up to see... Vector! That's right. If there were that many inside, of course there would be more outside. I fairly thought Mocha was going to just suffocate, but no, I died. Hang in there. I'm taking you back. I heard Mocha yelling at the top of her lungs, but her voice started to fade away. Mocha, this is all because I told you to go. Okay. Well, I knew I figured both of us would die, but soon I couldn't hear anything anymore. All right, well, we knew that was going to happen. So wait, that's 1. So then this one is 4. There we go. So now we shout at Mocha. Mocha, watch out! I immediately shouted a word of warning, but I was too late. Yukonami's attack struck the side of Mocha's head before she even knew what was happening. Oh, now she dies. Okay. Mocha! I didn't mean to kill her. Yukonami's voice echoed around me as I ran to Mocha and tried to hold her up. Mocha! Mocha! I desperately called out to her, but her eyes remained shut. Soon, she turned back into Mihaya. Mihaya, no. No! It reminded me of holding Lizzie when she'd been gravely wounded. But unlike then, Mihaya's body gradually turned cold in my arms. Mihaya. Didn't matter how many times I called his name, Mihaya would never open his eyes again. I figured that, wow, damn, another loved one had died right before my eyes. I shook with disbelief as despair overwhelmed me. My mind went blank, unable to think about anything. And that's when I untransformed and let myself suffocate out here. Jesus. I'm just assuming, wouldn't you? You know what I mean? Okay. So we will go into the activity reports. Okay, so we read those. Okay, this is gonna... I'm gonna have to write this down. Because it was easy when we did 1, 2, and then the Shameful Past Part 1, and then now it's 4, so we gotta remember we didn't do Shameful Past Parts 2 and 3, and you know what I mean? And then Mihaya's daily life and his thoughts. Okay, so there's only like these, so. All right, hold on just a second. What should I do?
Good work today, Kamui. Why haven't you gone back home yet? You were the first one out of the shower room.
I wanted to get this written down. I was worried I'd forget it before I got back to the dorm, so I had to commit it to paper.
What's that? Homework? Ah, my future path. We all had to write those essays during our first year, huh?
They make us all write them. It's how they divide up the classes. Anyway, I have to turn this in tomorrow.
I see. So you're in a panic because you haven't thought much about your future yet.
I've thought about it, but we're all in such a unique situation. Is there any point to having hopes and dreams now?
That's definitely a heavy question.
Right? Can we really expect to go on to college and have careers? I don't doubt that they'll tell us to put our duty as blooms at everything else. Maybe I should talk to the commander about it.
Maybe. He's probably still in the research district. Why not go look for him?
I think I will. What about you, Ayumu? Have you thought about your future at all?
Me? I don't really aspire to be anything. I just take things day by day. If I keep going like this, I'm sure the path ahead will reveal itself.
Huh? You two haven't gone home yet?
Something bothering you?
Perfect timing. Tell me, what are your dreams for the future? Whoa, where'd that come from?
Kamui's struggling with his future path essay for school. Lend him a hand. Our circumstances are highly unusual. Kamui can't discuss this kind of thing with his classmates, right?
Yeah, you're right about that. I wish I could talk all this over with my friends, but it's just not possible.
So, you want some insight from your fellow blooms, since we're in the same position.
I see. I think I get it now. But my plan's to continue at Oceanside Elite Academy. I'll think about the future later. I'd rather focus on the task directly in front of me instead of what my distant future might look like. I've got enough on my plate. I agree so hard with Mihaya. Like, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Bitch, I can barely figure out the next 5 minutes! Leave me alone! And I'm sorry, but, like, I mean, having hopes and dreams and ambitions and, like, prepping for the future, like, yes, there's something to be said for that. Like, you should prepare for that. Like, oh, someday I'm gonna retire. Oh, fuck, I don't have money. You know what I mean? Like, but also when you're, like, a kid and it's like, okay, hi, 10-year-old, where do you see yourself in 10 years? They're like, what? Old and half dead. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? And, like, I feel like you're setting children up for disappointment when you're like, okay, here are little teenagers. What do you want to be? What are your hopes and your dreams? And they're like, I just want to, like, not fucking be on the struggle bus for eternity. And they're like, good fucking luck. It's only getting worse, bitch. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? I don't remember ever... Like, I don't know. I'm sure we had to do stuff like this in high school, but it's been like 84 years, so I don't remember that far back. You know, back when you had to write with a chisel on the fucking, like, stone slab. I'm not that fucking old, but Jesus. Feels like it. But you know what I mean? Like, but I'm pretty fucking sure. I mean, I definitely wouldn't have been like, oh, well, for fun, I romance hot 2D boys. And I live alone with a bird and a lot of anime and Otome boy merch all over my house like a weirdo. But I'm a happy fucking weirdo, let me just tell you, okay? Or like, I have a top hat collection. Like, I wouldn't have thought about that. And I'm sure most people, especially if you're a girl, it's like, oh, where are you going? You're probably going to be married with like 4 kids and like driving them to site. Fuck that shit, Karen. Get out of here. No, but you know what I mean? Like, you expect kids to be like, I'm gonna be happy and married with a family and a really awesome job. Like, maybe if Timmy wants to be a fucking dinosaur, just let him say he wants to be a dinosaur. Like, don't tell him he can't be one. He'll figure it out soon enough. Just let the poor fucking kid dream for 5 fucking minutes before the whole world crushes his hopes and dreams. You know what I mean? But, like, it's just really weird to be, like, in high school. You're, like, 15 years old, and they'd be like, where do you see yourself in the future? What are you going to do with your life? And you're like, I still don't know what the fuck I want to do with my life now, and I'm, like, fucking closer to retirement age than I care to consider. You know what I mean? Granted, it's so far in the future, but it's also right around the fucking corner. Relatively. Is a really weird place to be right now for me. You know what I mean? You're like, it's a little too close for comfort. You know? But, like, I'm pretty sure when I was, like, 15, I was, like, I don't know. This is not the life I pictured for myself. I'm not complaining about my life, but I think if I was like, yeah, all my hopes and dreams and all the wonderful things, and then if I were to look back at that, I'd be like, well, isn't that depressing where I am compared to what my dreams were? Like, why would you want to disappoint people like that? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what are your options? You're 15 and you're going to write down, here's all these wonderful dreams that you have, these big, wonderful, amazing things. And when you look back at it when you're 30 and you're like, I did none of that. And then you feel like awful and shitty about yourself. Well, that's fun. Or if you're 15 and you're like, I don't really have any. And then you feel shitty about yourself right then and there. Like, why are we setting people up to feel shitty? The world already makes us feel shitty. Why are we doing it? Why are we making it worse? That's all I'm saying. Just saying. God, I also hate that at work too. It's like, okay, it's time for your self-evaluation. What do you want me to say? That I'm the best goddamn thing since sliced bread and I'm amazing and perfect and nobody's better than me? Because that's bullshit. But that's what you expect me to say, but that's not true. I'm not perfect. I'm just a fucking human here. Like, you want me to jump through fucking hoops? And I'm like, dude, I just wake up, roll out of bed, come here, pretend I give a fuck because I need to pay for shit. That's it. Like, I don't hate my job, but it's, like, not what I would do with my life. What's my dream job? Being a billionaire. That's my dream job. I just have a fuck ton of money, and I can do whatever the fuck I want. That's my dream job! You know? Doing this shit. Doesn't matter if I make money off of it, because who gives a fuck? I got billions. Like, I would not wake up and go to the 9-to-5 fucking grind. Ugh. You know what I mean? Or like on Friday night, you're excited because you're like, woohoo, it's the weekend! And then Saturday, you're like, oh, tomorrow's Sunday. And you're already disappointed by Saturday because the next day's Sunday and all of Sunday you're disappointed because you got to go to work the next day. Like, way to ruin my weekend. I'm basically already disappointed about the following week when I wake up on Saturday morning at this point. Like, this fucking sucks. You know? Anyway. I just don't think it's fair to make children write about their futures. I understand, like, think about the future, because it's going to come up on your real motherfucking fast. You're like, 10 years, what the hell happened? Why is it 10 years later? I just blinked. Like, seriously? I'm sure most of you have realized this. The older you get, the faster time goes. I don't like it. Okay, I don't. I've been thinking about my existential crisis that I've had for the last, like, 4 years, and I'm like, oh, fucking, like, a little while, it's going to be 5. Fuck, where'd those 5 years go? Where'd the last 20 go? Oh, Jesus. Anyway, so, like, you know, I'm with Mihaya, though. I just want to deal with today, because tomorrow just seems like a big-ass motherfucking problem that tomorrow me has to deal with. Let that bitch deal with it. I don't wanna. You know? Word. Okay? And this poor boy's only 15. He's got the soul of an 80-year-old. Jesus.
Tokyo, what about you? I don't care as long as I can keep conducting my research. I can't picture any other future. We have no idea what our future entails anyway.
Well, I mean, Kamui might.
The circumstances driving our lives might change in a flash. You never know.
Yeah, this whole conversation is a bit silly. But I'm glad to hear you each have your own take on things. I'll need to think about my own answer, too. That took twice as long because of my rant. But I'm just saying, this is what we come here for, right? Mihaya's daily life. Did I manage to lose him? Man, Kamui is so persistent. Jeez, why do I have to help him with his assignment? should do it himself. So it's basically like following the last conversation. That's funny. Oh, I'm practically at the library. I might as well drop in. What should I research about my mother and father today? I'd like to find some new clues, so I should check some of the shelves I haven't before. Nothing in either fiction or non-fiction about journalists. But, wait a minute. And this is that manga I like. I didn't know they re-released it in trade paperback. Wow, all the volumes are here. Our library is amazing. And they have other series by the same author, too. Oh, maybe they have that one manga. It's been out of print for years. I've seen editions going for a lot of money, both with enthusiasts and in the used book world. The First World War. I doubt they'd have an original copy, but there could be a reprint. I should check. There it is. Not a first edition, but it's from the second printing. That's the second most valuable edition. The ID is OZ1005. Huh. I don't remember a shelf with this ID. Oh well, I might as well look for it. A Z shelf? That's pretty big. X, Y... The next one should be Z. Oh. This is the restricted section. No wonder I didn't recognize the ID. Only faculty and certain students can access this section. But I've already come this far. I want to take a look. Is that... Ayamu. That's right. Since he's the student council president, he's allowed to go in there. What should I do? Ask him to let me in? But we're not supposed to talk to each other while we're at school. Ayamu talks to Tokyo all the time, but I rarely speak with him. It wouldn't be good to start just because I want something. No, this calls for desperate measures. I might not get this chance ever again. I have to ask. Hey, Ayamu. Knew you'd be here. Ah, Kamui, you chased me all the way here. Of course. You're helping me with my assignment. It's pretty heartless of you to run away, you know. Shameless much? You're a third year and I'm a first year. You shouldn't be asking for my help to begin with. It's a different assignment, but basically in the same process of the prior one. Because the prior one, Kamui was a first year. So it's like, and if he's older than, like we know that Mihaya is a first year at the time when we meet him. So because I think like the shameful past is like when they're younger, because we saw the first one, it was like, oh yeah, we're in middle school, and it's like, why do you look like your normal selves? Like, that's a little disjointing and bizarre, but so that was still what, like, so Mihaya would have been in middle school still then, technically, because Kamui was supposedly a first year, but you're way better at this classical literature stuff than me, so it doesn't matter if you're younger. It's not about being good or not. Wait, what? No, Ayamu's gone. You were with Ayamu? Oh, I see. You came here to rope him into helping me too, huh? Of course not. Kamui, you're gonna regret this. Why? Because I said so. I will have my revenge. For starters, I'm gonna tell the classic lit teacher what you've done. Wait, let's just slow down. I'm not slowing anything. If you don't want me to do it, then bring me the first edition. First edition? What are you talking about? Wait, Mihaya? That's so fucking ridiculous. The future, huh? I promised her I'd think about it for the next week. What do I want to do? I'm supposed to be thinking about my parents, but I just keep coming back to her. Well, it's because of her that I'm even considering my future in the first place. So I guess that makes sense. And there's something about her, it's like everything she does is so risky. She springs to action the moment she thinks of it. And that's it. I initially thought she was clumsy, but she actually does the things when she's determined. She said she wanted to thank me, so she gave me a huge lunch on those cookies. And then she gave them to Mocha, too. Wow, I'm just laughing about it in public. It's so embarrassing, to say the least. And now I'm thinking about her again. I feel so uncool. She always says I'm amazing and stuff, but I can't be further from the truth. I wanted to look like I had it together, and because she was doing all those risky things, I decided it was finally time to do something myself. In truth, when I think about her like this, I get all embarrassed and mull things over ad nauseum. I don't have my stuff together at all. And she's actually much clearer in her thinking.
Hey, Mihaya, I know I asked if you decided whether to use sap or not, but you don't need to worry about that right now.
She was the one who suggested taking a week to think about it, too. Considering all that, she really is more mature. She's only a year older, but it feels like a huge gap. I get the feeling I'll never be able to close it. We know you do, because we saw that CG. I'm never honest with myself, and I tend to overlook my faults. You already know then. Time to snap out of it. Dad? Guess I'm hearing things. I must have heard someone passing by. I think that's what it was, but I get the feeling my father's encouraging me. I just have to accept that I'm not so honest with myself, and that I don't have everything together. Yeah, that must be what it means to think about the future. Yeah, exactly. Think about the future. I do not have my shit together right now, and you know what? In the future, I will also not have my shit together. Still, before I can think about what I want to do, I have to do some serious self-reflection. That means a lot of thinking. I have to try and remember the fun times and the sad. Everything about my parents. Aw. Okay. And we should have nothing on that. Right, because Yeah, we should have nothing here, I don't think. Nope. Okay. And then the only thing we should have here is those two. Right, okay. The Mihaya's investigation. Internal investigation report. File 3. Mihaya Araki. Why do I have to go along with this farce? It's part of the mission? Don't assume I'll do what you want just because you said that. No point in complaining, though, so let's just get this over with. I have to start with my name and stuff, right? Mihaya Araki, first year in high school. My birthday's September 17th. Oh, look, his birthday passed recently. So you're already asking about my family. Running straight to the minefield, aren't you? Is there even a point in talking about this now? I mean, right now it's the end of September and his birthday was mid-September, but still recently. It used to be my parents and me. As you're aware, both of them have passed away. I won't tell you why, because you already know. I'd prefer to keep this part brief. When I was with my family, we lived together. After that, I lived in the dorms. Not much to talk about. I don't want to talk about my powers, so I'd like to skip this question. Huh? Then you want to talk about when I transform? Oh, I see. You're wondering about how I talk. I was trying to imitate my father. At first I did so people wouldn't find out I was Mocha. I actually look like my mother when I'm transformed, although I guess that's a given. I thought if I looked like my mother and talked like my father, I'd be closer to them. But it's not that I'm trying to live some childish fantasy. I was only doing it so I wouldn't forget my real objective. Anyway, that's why I spoke that way. I mean, like, obviously with the voice acting on, you'd hear the different, like, voices and the personalities they kind of exude, but we just read them like themselves. Not interesting at all, right? It'd be too many voices to try to fucking remember. It already gets confusing for me. Because there's two different forms of all of our boyfriends, and like... Well, thankfully, except for Ryo, Hyuga, and Yukinami, they're basically the same. Unless Ryo has a magical girl transformation we don't know about yet, but I doubt it. That concludes the interview, yeah? And then I'll be going now. I think we get a CG in this one. Wait, he left his bag here, but I don't see which way he went. She's gonna be here soon. Maybe I should just leave. Well, we promised to meet at our usual spot. I known it would be like this. I would have asked the interview to be somewhere else. Oh well, I should message her and just change where we're meeting. And sent. Wait, was I just grinning right now? I'm so glad no one saw me. Well, wait. It doesn't matter if someone were to see me. It's natural I'd smile when thinking about her. We're madly in love. It's not creepy at all. I like how he's like, we're madly in love. That's so adorable! Madly in love, which means we're a couple. That's what it means, right? I should probably make sure she knows. She doesn't always put two and two together. She might not have thought we were dating. It's very valid. I also would not be able to put 2 and 2 together, so I would need you to spell it out for me. She wouldn't reject me for just confirming our feelings for each other, right? I should probably get going. Oh! Stop it! This is the cutest CG ever! Oh, I love it so much! Oh! Oh my god. I love that so much. Like, that's what I'm saying. Some of the CGs are, like, fucking amazing. I can't see what... I only have one hand, guys. The bird's snuggled up in the other one. Like, you know? Like, this one's, like... I don't want to say not good. I mean, the art's good, but you know what I mean? Like, his face is, like, terrifying, and she's, like, basically dead, and so it's, like, a horrible... Like, it's not... Like, when I say it's a bad CG, it's not because, like, oh, God. No, the art's bad on this one. It's because it's, like, we're dead, and he is, like... He has terrifying face because he's terrified of what he just did and everything. You know what I mean? And pain face. So, like, it's traumatizing. You know what I mean? So, like... But, like, look at this one! It's so cute! She does, though, look like if you were drawing a CG of, like, a kid, an 8-year-old girl leaping into her dad's arm. Like, there's something, like, every once in a while they draw on her face is way too baby-faced. But, like, sometimes it's not. It's like, okay, she just looks like a young girl, and other times she does look like 8. You know? And this kind of, like, could go either way. You know? But he looks so precious. So, like, I'll forgive it. Because also, we've gotten used to the fact that, like, they always draw the main character sometimes, like, looking 12. And you're like, why do you draw him? Look at, like, I don't... It's weird, you know? I don't think she's bad. She kind of goes with the art style of the game. It's not, like, the worst we've ever seen. But she does have, like, sometimes, like, she's a little too baby-faced. Like, a little too young. Like, she's supposed to be, like, 16, not, like, half her age. Come on, you know? But... this one's still cute either way. You know what I mean? I like it. Look at his little face. He's so precious. And this is one of them where you look at it and he doesn't look like he doesn't have baby face in it. He just has pretty face. So, like, I like it better that way. But anyway, so that's all of Mihaya's stuff. So I don't know what we're going to do tomorrow because I will, like, it's a Friday night. So... I usually don't record stuff for our Otome games on Saturdays and Sundays. I'll start back up on Monday or whatever. So I'm going to have a couple days to ruminate on it and decide. And so it'll be a couple more days of things that are posting for you guys to see if anybody leaves any thoughts on if you want to do all 4 of our good boys, then all 4 of our bad boys, or go 2 and 2. I'm leaning right now to starting Hyuga or Yukonami next. Just because I think Mihaya's kind of led into it nicely, where we went to Tao and we saw the colony, so we got a little bit of info, and it's like, okay, cool. So then going and doing one of those routes would be kind of interesting, you know? Plus it also means I can save Tokyo for later because I love him to death, and I kind of want to push him off, you know what I mean? And Ayumu's also beautiful, and like doing those a little bit later. You know what I mean? Kind of getting, no offense to Hyuga and Yukonami, but like kind of getting them out of the way. Like, I'm sure they'll be good because honestly, Kamui and Mihaya weren't characters when I first saw them. I was like, I love them. It was like, okay, yeah, no, they're fine. Cool. But I've really enjoyed their routes. I like their characters. I like what we've done here. We've had a great time. Cool with it. So I'm sure Hyuga and Yukonami will probably be like, we had a good time with them. They're not the characters I would have first picked or gravitated toward, but I'm sure the routes are going to be fine. You know what I mean? We'll have a good time. But, you know, saving, like, my better boys for last. We can't really purposely save all their good boys for last, because Ryo gets the last spot by default. But saving it, so then we do Ayumu, then Tokyo, then Ibuki, then Ryo. It's like, okay. Some of my favorites a little bit. I kind of like that idea. I don't know. Plus, I do think it seems kind of interesting to do 2 good paths, 2 bad, 2 good, 2 bad. You know what I mean? Like good boys, bad boys type of a thing. Just to kind of spice it up a little bit. So that's where I'm leaning, but we'll see what everybody's consensus is if ever anybody has any thoughts. at this point, it's too late. I've already recorded the next, when you see this, I've definitely finished the next route because these have been really short. So I'm probably on the 4th one. So, but anyway, we'll see what it is. It'll be a surprise for both of us at the moment. So I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.